the Senate, the Pike Committee in the House. It was a 2-year investigation compiling 18,000 pages of documents drawn from hundreds of whistleblowers in the FBI, the CIA, and the Defense Department. And they described to Congress what the U.S. Senate described in Book 3 of the Church Committee report as a, quote, sophisticated vigilante operation aimed squarely at suppressing the legitimate exercise of speech and association. When COINTELPRO 1.0 was wound down, or at least seeming to be wound down in public, the particular mechanism for that were the 1976 Attorney General's guidelines. Edward Levy, who was the AG at the time, basically said to Congress, there's nothing to see here, move along, we'll take care of this. And so he put in place a set of guidelines that aimed to take the FBI out of the business of surveilling groups certainly protecting First Amendment protected activities. Well, we saw in the next 20 years, every 5 years or abouts, the AG's guidelines got watered down. 2008 was the latest revision. This was one of the last things that the Bush administration did before leaving office, was give the Obama administration essentially an FBI unleashed from all of its prior constraints. I sued the Bureau in 2008 on a FOIA case to get a copy of the FBI's implementing regulations. I'm going to talk very briefly about 2 pieces of it, one of which was fully disclosed, the Domain Management Program. I invite all of you, as agents of education to the popular culture, Google Domain Management and FBI. It is crucial. It is a mandated racial and religious profiling program that the FBI disclaims as racial and religious profiling, A, because they're doing it to everyone, and B, because according to the FBI's former general counsel, who now works for Northrop Grumman and wants to seek on the federal bench, because we're not searching it, we're just monitoring. Both of those things make it worse, right? But these apparently, in the eyes at least of the FBI, justify it. The second piece is what the FBI calls undisclosed participation, what we might colloquially refer to as undercover infiltration. The entire chapter on that authority was blacked out. We've written letters to Congress signed by dozens of civil rights groups. We've had questions asked at hearings. I want to tell you about one particular hearing, July 2010, I believe, in which FBI Director Mueller, who's since been entrenched beyond the statutory line for the first time since J. Edgar Hoover, essentially lies to Congress, says that you have to have reasonable suspicion of criminal activity to justify an infiltration, and then writes a letter to Senator Durbin's office after the cameras are off and after the microphones are turned off, admitting that all the FBI needs is a, quote, proper purpose, which could be anything. There's effectively no check on the use of infiltration by the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Patriot Act, people are familiar with. National security letters have certainly been well documented. The Section 215 authority. There's a particular interesting quirk here with delayed notice search warrants, otherwise known as the sneak and peek authority. It's an example of power adopted based on war on terror rhetoric that is then blown back and being used primarily in drug investigations. And so another indication of how the surveillance regime has begat a whole series of further abuses. Fusion centers and JTTFs, all I'll say there is that they are DHS funded for fusion centers, and then the JTTFs are FBI funded cooperation entities that basically co-opt local